everybody. It's me, Free Spirit. This is take 2, out on the porch. I tried to do this the other night, and I'm telling you, it's like magnetics. As soon as I try to do something quiet, on the porch, behind the house, over by the trees, near the horses, anywhere, suddenly the neighbors are all around. And there's no reason, they're just, oh, what are you doing? Hi, what's new? So I was out here a few nights ago, in the dark, with candles. I had this guy up here as a candle, and another one here, and a few others. And the light was just nice, and it was quiet. I just sat down, got ready to answer a question or two. Suddenly my neighbor's talking to me, and he's doing laundry at 10 o'clock at night on a weeknight. His laundry room is right there. It's just a fascinating energy, I think, that happens when ASMR starts. Because it's just like you're getting into a nice quiet zone. You're looking for a nice place, a nice background, maybe some natural lighting, and quiet, of course. It cannot happen here. So I came out earlier and I put everything out and kind of looked at the clock because I know he's going to work earlier now. He works afternoon until middle of the night. So I timed it just right because I came out to set everything out here, just to put things down and go back in the house. And he was instantly outside. Oh, check out that guy's shed over there. Have you seen? I didn't know that went up so fast. Just so random, I swear. It's the funniest thing. So. He's gone to work. The neighbors have picked up their son, and they've had their playtime, and I think it's just you and me. Yay. I have a lot of questions to answer. I thought this was going to be so easy. In fact, I was a little nervous that I wasn't going to get any questions. So I have almost 50 questions, and I think it's going to be kind of fun. I was going to kind of divide it into topics, because there seemed to be some groupings of questions about certain things. So I started kind of making notes about that. Then I started thinking, wow, you know what? I could probably pull out so many photographs from all these different times in my life, and I could superimpose them and kind of tell a story with some photos. And so I started pulling photos. Oh, you guys, this is what happens. Crazy ASMR creators. I went through, oh my gosh, let's just say it was a very cathartic day. I spent the whole day looking at old pictures. Not just, the digital ones only go back to, I think I have 2008. I think it's 2008. Yeah, most of those are on memory sticks. Haven't even looked at those yet. But all the current ones from 2013 when I moved here, I have on my laptop. Went through all of those and pulled, oh my gosh, some really amazing memories that I want to share with you guys. If you're interested in photography, I'm really happy to share. And wow, the old photographs, actual physical photographs, is more what I'm talking about though, because I have bags and bags and boxes and albums, and I mean, I'm from the generation that kept photographs, so I have tons anyway. So thank you for the adventure and for the free psychiatric evaluation that I went through, having all these memories flashing before me. But you know, I realized that I really have done some really fun adventures. So instead of trying to answer 50 questions and intersperse meaningful, relevant photos, it's gonna take forever. So I'm just gonna do the Q&A right now. And I am gonna make, okay, this kind of plays into one of the questions, which was about me doing a draw your life video. Anxiety, sweating, I can't breathe. No, that would be really, really hard. I can't draw at all. It's a trigger, an anxious trigger for me. So I wouldn't be doing that. But I'm thinking maybe I could do, I don't know, a compilation. I thought to do it at the end of last year. I was working on it already. Of photographs and short clips sort of describing what I've been going through in the past few years, and I could make it a little bit more all-encompassing with old photos from way back when I was knee-high to a grasshopper. But that's one thing I realized, that there's certain very large gaps in my history that I don't appear. So I'll try to make a kind of a patchwork, interesting presentation of some sort. So that's what I'm going to do. In the meantime, here we are. Peace and quiet. It's so nice out here. It's really warm. It's actually warmer on this porch in the sun than in my house right now. So I have a jacket with me because I thought I would need it. But it's just beautiful right here. And the sun is going to be going down right over there. So depending how long this video goes, we may be sharing the sunset together. But for now, I'm going to have a little bit more coffee. Look at that cute cup. It's my favorite coffee mug because some of you may have already seen this. Can you read that? All right, I'm feeling a little more relaxed now. I've had a few false starts, so just had to feel the water a little bit, make sure this was really happening. The neighborhood sounds are not going to bother us at all. Look at this question and answer. Although I do have this very crinkly chair cover. That was absolutely appropriate. It's a very dusty chair. Okay. Some of these do require a bit of thought, and I haven't given it a lot of thought. So I'm connecting with my inner knowing to help me come through with some good answers spontaneously. Let's see. Otherwise, there's the magic of editing, and maybe there'll be a little skip, and all of a sudden the sun will be going down. So let's start. Thank you, everybody that sent me a question. Wow, I'm just kind of blown away. I'm just going to go in the order in which they were received. So the first question was from Antoinette. She says she's new to my channel. She was asking a question about whether I do custom clearing of negative energies in the form of readings or healings. And the answer, short answer is no, not anymore. I mean, I still do things much less formally. I don't do ASMR recordings of readings anymore. And it was really fun, and I am trusting. I'm flowing with a different type of an energy right now, so whatever that means. When we get into how I started doing all the stuff that I do, it's sort of a lot of question marks on my side as well, because really what I learned is I shouldn't be afraid, and that I have all I need. I have all the questions within me and all the answers to go with them. It's just an adventure, putting them together and finding them and using the real world experiences. So, yeah, I just got the impulse that it was time to pull back from all the things that I was earning money with on the side, kind of like I was transitioning and getting ready to not be working full time, and I was looking for interesting things to do, but now I just like doing them, like ASMR, my ASMR channel. This kind of answers somebody else's question, but I'll go back to it again. But yeah, demonetize the channel, no website, no nothing, no Patreon. Just, it was like the book shut on all that. So, I don't know. Okay. Sorry, Antoinette. And the next question is, well, it's been posed by a few different people a few different ways, so I'll read each of these. So the second one was, how did I get into the spiritual side of manifesting and crystals? And that was from Paulina. And there was another one, how did I get into crystals, from Crystal Wizard. We'll get to the others as well. There were a few people. I would say that it all kind of just flowed from childhood. I don't know. I think sometimes we just, we have a curiosity. I'm Scorpio. I really enjoy mysteries and puzzles and riddles and tricks and trying to see more than what I'm seeing with my eyes. I guess that was a tendency of mine. So when I started awakening to things, I remember knowing that I was going to have spiritual experiences. When I was really little, I went to a Catholic school, and we would always do all of the prayers, and we would walk, we would do a procession, all the good little girls and boys, from the school to the church on the corner, and go to the different, whatever the holy day was that we were doing prayers. And after everybody left, I would go to each of the statues of all of the saints, and I would just have conversations, and I just felt very connected to something outside of myself that I didn't know what it was, and I had no confirmation. So that kind of went through waves as I started reaching out to different types of religions and systems and cultures, and just learning more about the rest of the world. I don't know. I just feel like I've been pulled all the way, and there's been so many different things that at one point I remember feeling like, maybe in my 30s, like, what is wrong with me? I just can't seem to stick to anything. I'm constantly changing direction. I'm looking for teachers. I'm reading books. I'm feeling like I'm not as good as people. I'm not, I'm giving that up and trying this. And it was just all over the place. That's how I felt. And, yeah, so I've just learned that that's my flow, that is how I take in what I need from each of the teachings or experiences, different meditations or different healings, all kinds of different things. Just going with the flow every step of the way, thinking I'm going crazy, thinking I'm the only one, and then finding people, and it's like a wave. It gets bigger, and then it rolls over, and then all of a sudden you're back down at the bottom again. But it's fun. It's been okay. So don't be afraid. It looks weird in some spots, but for the most part, I can look back now and say every single part of it was really good. It was. Even the hard parts. So anyway, that led to noticing that the more I focused on what I wanted instead of what I didn't want, and not just what I wanted, like material stuff or success or stuff like that. But what my heart's desire was, what my pull was when I started really asking, recognizing that I could have a conversation with my body, with my energy, with my heart, I started connecting more. And as I did that, like, I fixed things that were wrong with my body. I fixed all kinds of things. I solved problems that I didn't know I could even fix. Mechanical things, all kinds of things just became like the way just opened. And I realized that it's because I had really been keeping track of what I was paying my attention into. And I got rid of my TV. I lost friends. I just became more quiet. And it was nothing personal. It still is nothing personal. Honest to God, I have no control over it. It's just going like a slow-moving train, but an unstoppable train. And the more I relax into it, the better my dreams are, the better I feel about myself, the more enjoyment comes to me. And then I go, because, Mercury retrograde and stuff like that. Things throw you. But for the most part, when you're doing that, you are manifesting. Crystals are tools that I use in that process of putting my mind and my heart and my energy behind an intention, and knowing that I have additional energy, like a little superpower from the gifts from this planet, from this mother, from this earth. Okay, I'm just going to cross these off as we go. Thank you for those questions. Okay, Pauline actually, Paulina had a second question, and that was, what ASMR artist spurred me, and how do I stay motivated in ASMR and in life? Well, if you've seen my first video, I talked about Emma Whispers Red. Oh, Emma. Emma was one of the first ASMR creators that I listened to regularly, that I just felt a real connection to. And again, one of those things, I got this pull to gather some things and send to her. And I recorded a short little explanation of what was going on with all these little boxes and notes and things, so that when she opened it, she wouldn't be like, what the heck is wrong with this woman? She must be crazy. So anyway, I recorded just soft-spoken into an MP3 player, because I was doing my own readings at the time, and I was always recording. And I sent it to her, and I said, don't listen to this until you get the box, and then you'll understand. And oh my gosh. She sent me a message to tell me that she cheated, and she listened to a little bit of my audio, and that she got ASMR from listening to my voice. Oh my gosh. Well, it was thrilling, and it was totally scary, because she was telling me that I should get a channel, I should make some videos. And wow, I knew it was something big opening in me at that time. So I'm very, very grateful to you, Emma. It's not explainable. It doesn't need to be explained. It's just, again, follow that feel. Whew. It was kind of weird, and it's still kind of weird, but I love being able to express myself this way. So I thank you for all of you that come and listen to me and enjoy this, and definitely Emma and Maria, Gentle Whispering, who commented on my first video. So sweet. And Minx Laura 123. Oh my gosh, I still listen to her videos. Oh, it's just some energetic pull that we have towards certain sounds, certain voices, certain faces, certain energies from people. So those are my ladies from way, way, way back. And just people like that, that's what motivates me at ASMR. I love to look for small channels. I like to watch a lot of different types of ASMR and see what works and what doesn't. And yeah, I don't have to worry about being motivated for ASMR. I always have an idea. I always have this feeling something's coming, and I enjoy just seeing how it turns out, because when I'm editing, I'm kind of like, hey, that was pretty good. Oh, all right, So it brings a side of me out. I know you guys, really have high regards for me, and I really appreciate that, because it puts a standard here for me to meet. Because, we all have our little scales of we're with the flow, we're not with the flow, and yeah, I live out loud. I don't hold back, and but I will only show you this part, okay? That's for sure. Okay, so same thing, ASMR and life. Same thing. It's just you don't have to be motivated. If the time's not right, then you know it. So do something else. Follow where the energy is. If the energy is in bed, you just stay in bed and get a cup of tea and just watch ASMR. As much as you can do, that feels really good to you. That doesn't get you in trouble with your boss, of course. But when you get to be my age and you take early retirement, then you have more options. So there you are. All right. This is a good one from Allison. Thanks, Allison. How long have I been making grids, and how long do you leave a grid in place? So I was trying to figure it out. In a way, I've been doing grids all along, and I didn't realize it, even when I was a kid, and I would just arrange things in patterns and put something special in the middle, or, shells, certain patterns, all kinds of things like that. And I think a lot of kids do that. And like I said, because I was really interested in magic and the occult, and I remember my parents would just go crazy. I think they bought me a magic trick or an ESP. Oh, an ESP kit. And I was kind of good at it, with the symbols on the cards, the 5 symbols, and you hold it up and you have to guess what the person's looking at. I was kind of good at it. I think I freaked my parents out, so the magic went away and the cards went away. So, but anyway, so I think the grid stuff is something that it's something that we're attracted to or not, because everybody has different threads that pull to them in the spiritual sense. So I didn't even know about it until I was much older, what I was actually doing. And then I met a very dear friend and mentor, and I remember we chit-chatted. It's a long story, but it's a really cute story in a way, because I was still very naive. And I had asked her at one point, so what do you do for a living? And she said, oh, I'm a grid worker. And I thought she worked for the electric company. I hadn't heard the expression before. And of course, then when we started talking, and I was like, now, wait a minute, what are you talking about? And she started talking about ley lines and energy fields, and I was like, oh, yeah, okay. Because I had kind of looked at all of that kind of stuff, looking at ancient ruins and sites like in England, and all of these things were built on energy lines, and there were a lot of them in my where I grew up in New England, so I was kind of fascinated from a different perspective. So that's when I really started understanding that grids could be set intentionally and used in such a way that it amplified the energy of each of the things in the grid, and it also carried your energy forward. So so I started learning how to be serious about that, but yet again, just instinctively flowing. If I knew we were going for a day in the mountains, or wherever, any place we were going to go, I would just calm myself, do a short meditation, and just kind of ask, what should I take with me? And I'd walk around the house, who wants to come? Who wants to come? Or sometimes I'd use my pendulum. And it was just absolutely mind-blowing that the times when I felt more of a pull to bring things, my counterpart felt that nothing was required, or vice versa, or we would each bring something that complemented the other. And it's still happening. It's happening with other people as well. We're just starting to sync up when the intentions align. So that's, I don't know, probably 15 years ago, maybe. Serious, intentional grid work. And it doesn't just happens once in a while, and I get the feeling, I get the pull, and I will set things up. Or Abby will come and do circles around me every time I get up and try to leave the room, so I'll know that I need to do something on the other side of the house. So I start setting out things on tables, and my neighbors are having a good old time. They're so cute. And that leads me to the question about how long to leave a grid, and that is also just one of those things that you have to feel it. If it's in the house, it's easy. If it's somewhere else, sometimes it's just for the day. It's just while I'm there visiting, and then I take everything back with me. Or sometimes I'll make grids of things from that area and just leave it there. And sometimes in the house, they stay up for a very long time. The one that I did last is still together, except for the rose petals, because Miss Abby was just way too interested. And yeah, I even had pine needles for that one too, and I couldn't use it because of the kitty cats. So it really depends on what the purpose is. And a lot of times, if I've asked for a specific intention, it just keeps going until it's done, and then I get the feeling when I walk by, it's not turned on, I don't have a vibration coming off of it, so I know it's ready to be taken apart, and that's it. So yeah, this whole video could just be like, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure how it happened. I'm not really sure, because honestly, that's the most embarrassing thing for me as a person to say, because I'm supposed to be smart. I'm supposed to have an answer really quick too. But as I come to find out more about myself, I know that I have to wait. I have to wait because things come to me like, what am I supposed to be doing? Why am I here? Blah, blah, blah. What is my purpose? If I just wait and try to just be right present now and just be open to the next thing's coming and it's going to be great, and then things start moving, so the energy just comes. And in between, I just kind of have to learn how to be happy with just not having a plan. Yeah. Same thing with the grids. They work until they're done, and then hopefully I know that they are, and I'm not just being lazy, but usually I can tell that the purpose is served, and then it goes back to where they all belong. Okay, so my neighbors are now leaving. Their play date is over. Once they drive out. And then in about 20 minutes, she may drive back in. So the next question came from multiple sources. Everybody's curious about my childhood, where I'm from, why did I move, and how did I get to where I am today? That's a big one. And this was asked by Ryan and Sweet Nothings, and moderately basic, where and how did I grow up? There may be others. I have 3 pages here, so I'll go through all of them. But anyway, my childhood. I was a child of the 50s. Yeah, the 50s, where everybody thought everything was perfect, and we trusted everybody, and it was kind of ideal. It was an idyllic life, as long as my parents had enough of everything for all of us kids. There was 5 of us, and my dad worked. My mom was a homemaker, but they took side jobs, so they made a little extra money, and they Always had some savings, and it was like, if you've ever watched Ozzie and Harriet, yeah, Leave It to Beaver, that kind of, it wasn't a stereotype, it just really was the way it was. It was very peaceful, calm, you didn't really have too many worries. Life was good, and I was really little, so I was doted on and all that stuff. I have 2 older brothers and an older sister, so there was a fairly good gap in between. So when I came along, it was, smother the little baby girl with love. So I did get a lot of affection and attention, and beat up by my brothers and stuff like that. So it was pretty normal. I went to a Catholic school. I went to Catholic church, and I just kind of did what everybody told me to do. And yeah, and we moved when I was about, I can't remember how old I was. I think I was 10, maybe. Maybe I was a little older. Maybe I was 12. Yeah, I think I was 12. And it was a little traumatic. I moved from a tiny neighborhood where everybody knew everybody. I looked on the map the other day. I used to walk 0.6 miles to school and back by myself every day, or with neighbor kids. We all walked. There were no buses. We all walked, and we were perfectly fine. So I grew up with that kind of life. And then we moved. I had to go to junior high and high school at a public school, and as it turned out, it was a great school. So I was lucky. I was very lucky. But again, I was just doing what I was supposed to do. I got in trouble a lot because Free Spirit was born very early. She just doesn't like rules. And I was a good girl. I really was. I was a good girl. I wouldn't ever be mean or talk back or anything like that. But I just hated the rules. I thought it was really stupid. And so I hid a lot of who I was from a lot of people. Anyway, I had quite the easy life, and it was, everybody felt that way back then. It was an innocence that they talk about, and it's the truth. Everybody was just getting into rock and roll. We're on the verge of crazy stuff changing, and I started feeling kind of like there was way more going on than anybody was talking about it. I couldn't do anything about it. I mean, this was pre-internet. Let that sink in a little bit. No internet. Not just crappy dial-up, but no internet. There was no way to connect with what was happening anywhere else. I mean, we didn't have even email. We had no computers. So I read a lot of books, and it was hard to find sort of the metaphysical type library that I wanted to delve into. So yeah, I started pulling away, and honestly, when you put the energy out that you're looking for something and you want to understand more, it starts to find a way to you somehow or other. And so then I learned about all kinds of different people like Ram Dass and Alan Watts and different philosophers and different backgrounds in different religions. And I really became fascinated with the culture of India. And I started learning mantras and chanting and meditation and yoga and all of that. And that was, by then, we were like in the 70s. And I was in college, and I had more freedom. So I was able to branch out and learn more. And yeah, basically broke away from a lot of things I had grown up with and had believed, and started stretching my wings a little bit. And I already had lined up a great job on Nantucket Island, where I had worked the summer before, and I was just going to leave for a little while to come to California to see my brother get married. I've been here ever since. So, a lot of strange things happened on that visit here. I had already decided I wasn't going back with my family when they went back, but I was going to meet a friend in Colorado. So I was going to fly to Denver and hook up with him, and then we were going to take a road trip back to the East Coast. However, it was then that I started really starting to feel energy in my body, like guidance, like really strong intuition, really strong physical reaction to intuition. And every time I thought of leaving, it was not pleasant. It was not good. Like, goon, goon, hit your side of the head. No, you can't go. Every time I thought about, wow, would it be so great to just stay here? It'd just be great to just start fresh, just to see what I could do from here, you know, launch myself as myself. And every time I felt like that, I just, oh my gosh, I would get this wave of like bliss, seriously. And I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. And my brother was cracking up because he didn't want me to go. He thought I should stay. And my sister-in-law wanted me to stay. And I thought, this is too impulsive. I'm crazy. What am I going to do? I'm just out of school. What am I going to do? And one of their friends came over and she said, oh, I'll give you a tarot reading. So there you go. That was, wow, it was a really powerful reading. And man, it set me on a path. So lots of things pointing the way. You look back and it's so obvious. But at the time you doubt and you wonder. But that's how I got here. And I knew it was right because shortly after I got here, I got an opportunity to take care of my brother's neighbor's place for over a month while they were traveling. And right after that it was the Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. And they had the marathon runners came through the streets. It was really fun back those days. I'd hop on a bike and ride around and just be living right across from the ocean, and yeah, very carefree. I didn't have any animals. I didn't even have any houseplants. I didn't even really have an address. I did that for a while, and then my life got very complicated, and it never got less complicated until I finally moved here. So I'll save the rest. Okay, that was my childhood. I am from New England, from Massachusetts, from Boston. So I'm very old school. I'm not a Puritan. I'm a native, yeah. Why did I move? Yeah, pretty much that's why I moved. Because I graduated, I came out to see my brother get married. And life took me by the hair. Where did I grow up? Boston. The suburbs of, no, not suburbs. There were little sections of Boston. So it was like almost like a little wheel of little communities going out from actual, like the city of Boston. So it was out there. Yeah. And we used to go to Cape Cod all the time in the summertime. And I used to go to New Hampshire and Maine, yeah. And all of New England, I absolutely love and adore. And I don't know why I'm not there anymore, but I'm a desert rat now. Okay, how did I get to where I am today? That's pretty much it. Kind of ended up in the high desert of Southern California, and I've lived in about, I don't know, 6 different places. Yeah, the longest was the one before, two back. I was there for 15 years. So I hope to just stay here or something better. Never close the door. Always say, or something better. Okay. Thank you guys for that question that's turned into a novel. Hopefully everything is still recording. It's recording. It's all recording. Thank God. Okay, where did I was life like as a child and as a teenager? I was so awkward. I was completely awkward. I was a tomboy. I don't know. As a child, I was very carefree. I used to, okay, don't listen. If my mom ever sees this, she'll have a heart attack. I used to hitchhike. That was when I was a little older. When I was really young, like when I was 8 years old, I used to go to the Franklin Park Zoo by myself. That was like, it was like a 2-mile walk. Yeah. I used to go there and hang out and look at all the animals from the outside because I couldn't afford to go in. I think they charged you like 50 cents or something to go in. But that was frowned upon. But I did that. And then I took the neighbor kids with me because we used to play school, and their parents knew that they were in my house and we were in the classroom and I was teaching them, and I actually would teach them stuff and give them homework and have them take it home. But we did field trips, and so they just thought I was in the neighborhood walking with them. And I took them to the zoo. So, yeah, I was a little troublemaker, but I wasn't trying to. I wasn't a bad kid. And as a teenager, forget it, I was a bad kid. I used to sneak out and, drink my dad's whiskey, and it was awful. It was awkward and horrible. And, I had boyfriends, but I think they liked me more than I liked them. So they never lasted very long because I'm kind of a weirdo. So nothing's changed. Adela. She asked me, how do I forgive people who have hurt me? Hi, sweetheart. I do not have the answer for that. I mean, I think in a lot of ways I have forgotten and forgiven a lot of things. But, yeah, sometimes it just has to happen by itself as it becomes less hurtful and less of a thought in your mind. You pay less attention to it. It becomes more neutral, so you can look at it and go, wow, that was pretty bad. I don't have tears in my eyes. I think I'm getting over it. And that's kind of a sign of forgiveness, because your heart is softened, and you only have to forgive it for yourself. You don't have to do anything with anybody else. You can if you feel that urge again. It's how it feels to you and what you need to do to get to that place. But, just keep asking your heart, what do I need to do? Do I need to do anything about this? And, my best guidance is ask your heart. And maybe you don't have to do anything right now. Okay. Sandy asked me, and I had that a couple of times, and I have no problem answering these questions at all. I am single. It's funny to say I'm single, because I was not single for more than I was single in my entire life. So, but yes, at this time I am single. I live alone at this time as well. I've had roommates, I've had visitors, I've had friends. I prefer to be alone. I have a crazy household, as you can imagine, with the 5 cats, 2 dogs. I do not have any children. I have all those crazy animals, and they keep me busy, so it's just the way life worked out. It's okay. I was the aunt for so many nieces and nephews, and we had a lot of fun. And I could be me, I didn't have to rein it in or anything. They thought I was crazy, and they had a lot of fun with that, so that was great. Next question, Misty. Thanks, Misty. And also my friend Jeff asked, am I going to have a garden this year or what? I think I am going to have a garden this year. I really hope to. And that means I really got to get on it pretty quick, because I haven't gotten a garden together in 2 years. And the last one that I didn't do any weeding. I just did like au naturel with mixed results on that. Didn't do very well. So I got to rent a rototiller And I think I'm going to proposition my neighbor, because they are already talking about how they used to have a garden where they used to live. And I'm thinking maybe I can share the garden as long as they agree. Organic, heirloom seeds, no pesticides, and just share the care of having to water twice a day, and be really mindful during the summers, because I want to go camping. I want to go camping. I want to go camping. I am going to go camping. I'm going camping and hiking. So I don't want to have to be here all the time. I am projecting and intending in my future that I have care for my cats when I'm gone, and horses if I don't take them with me. Most likely I will always take the dogs. That's my intention. Okay, universe. Bring it in. So, I really do intend to have a garden. I think that this time I will do the majority of planting outside instead of starting in the house and transferring. I might do a few things here and there in the house, in the spare bedroom that does get a little bit of sun. Or I might put up a grow light. See, as it gets more complex, then I have less freedom to come and go. So we'll see. But I definitely want to grow veg. And Jeff wanted to know what I was going to try and grow if I did. And yeah, all the things that I'm loving eating. Salad stuff. So greens and herbs and carrots and peppers and what else? Squash. Oh, squash does well here. Trying to stick to the things that I've had very good luck with in the past. So I gotta start early with the greens, and then I'll work on to the others. Yeah. That's as far as I've gotten. I have to see. I have a bunch of seeds that I've separated out and put away in the back of the refrigerator. I don't know if they'd be any good, but I might try germinating them. I would like to do a garden because I like making videos about gardening stuff. It's fun. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Esmeralda. She wants to know, am I always a happy person? Absolutely not. It's impossible. I'm pretty good. I grew up around a lot of sarcasm and self-deprecating humor, so I like to tease myself. And when I'm alone, if I'm having a little hissy fit, and I'm screaming and yelling about something that's not happening properly, I definitely have this little me on my shoulder that just giggles and cracks up and just kind of does this to me. So most of the time I can kind of laugh at myself even when I'm in the midst of being dramatic. So I try to snap out of it quickly, and hopefully, I don't do any damage to anybody nearby. Yeah, I have my ugly moments, but it makes me happy to do ASMR, so all the better for me to make more videos, because I have to be in this kind of a certain energy to be able to do this. So I like it. Thank you. I'm glad it looks like I'm always happy. You know what? I looked at all of my old pictures. I don't have that many pictures because I'm usually the one taking the pictures or the video. So there's lots of gaps in my history as far as seeing me on any picture. But the ones I have, I'm always smiling. Yeah, and not like because the camera's looking at me, but just like, oh, there's Diane. Oh, she's smiling. So I think I am pretty happy, usually, as long as I get my way. Okay. Where and how did I grow up? Moderately basic. Yeah, we got that one. I just think it's really funny that I actually did walk a mile to school, and I didn't have a phone. And when we first got our first phone when I was a teenager, we were so excited because my dad knew somebody that worked in the phone company, and we got this extension cord that let us take the phone from the hallway all the way around the corner and sit inside this little closet where we could close the door and have privacy. It was amazing. Just think about that. How did I get into crystals? That's Crystal Wizard. It kind of goes with the whole spiritual aspects, because once I actually was pretty well into doing crystal stuff, I realized that I'd had some from when I was little that I'd totally forgotten about, that I had little boxes here and there that I found again. So I think I was into the crystal energy, the feeling of it way back when, and rock hounding and stuff. I realized that all of the major places in my life that I have lived have had a giant rock formation on the property, near the property, behind the property, under the property. It's true. So that sort of energy, that sort of connection. I am connected to tree energy as well, but definitely first is minerals, the stones, the ley lines and the energy fields in the earth. So that's why I like rock hounding so much. I have stones everywhere on this property, all around, that I've carried. So that was, it all sort of became bigger and more amplified as I got older, and I started asking questions about, my spirituality and my purpose in life. These things started coming to me, like people would give me crystals, or I'd find something, or I'd be directed. My friend kept asking me, let's go to a gem and mineral show, and I thought she was talking about jewelry, and I kept saying no. Oh my goodness. The first time I finally went, I'm like, why didn't you tell me this is all crystals? It's all crystals, oh my gosh. So then I really got into it, because if you are exposed to a huge variety or a huge selection of each variety, then you start being able to sense the energies a little bit different, and you notice the way certain ones kind of pull you, look at you, twinkle at you. You could hear a high-pitched sound, or it could be a lot of different ways, but it took me a long time before I trusted that as well. So that's when I really got into the crystals again. I was already here in California. So some big changes happened as a result of me leaving the energy of that cocoon that I grew up in, which I just love it. It's just so sentimental and sweet, having the memories of that childhood. But yeah, I had to break out of that for sure, or I wouldn't have gotten to this point for sure. Okay, so this is from Dame de Coeur. Miss Dame de Coeur, why you don't like my intro music? I'm sorry. I like my intro. It's just the sound of the beautiful air, the free spirit blowing through the clouds. Yeah, I try to balance it so that it's at least as quiet as the video, but I could turn the volume down a little bit. But I have to have the intro. It's part of me. And she wanted to know if I would ever make an ASMR guided meditation video. So, yeah, actually, I think I might. And I just love the sound of water, and I have some very nice footage that I have never used of beautiful little waterfalls and little streams and rocks and sunlight, and I could use something like that and record a soft-spoken meditation over that. I think that'd be kind of fun. And also she wanted to know about a cat purring video. Yeah, I have to catch Abby at no, Abby's not a good one for that. Abby doesn't really purr that loud, and she only likes it when I'm working with crystals. So, but Margot purrs very loudly. So, yeah, I'll catch her on a good day and do some cat purr video. Okay. And then the next question, which was from Marina, has to do with meditation as well. Wanted to know, do I meditate, and do I have tips for beginners? I have a love-hate relationship with meditation. I'll be very honest with you. There are times when I find myself completely there. I didn't plan to meditate. I just kind of had a moment and went with it. That's the best. But we all learn somehow from the beginning. And yeah, I've learned a lot about meditation. I casually meditate now. I don't have a practice of meditation. When I feel pulled to do it, I sometimes will meditate for a few days in a row at a similar time. It's more powerful if you kind of do it that way, first thing in the morning or last thing of the day. I do a very quick version of a meditation before I go to sleep, where I cut all the cords from the day, release any energy that doesn't belong to me, ask to be returned any energy that belongs to me that I've given away or left behind. And I do it super quick. It's just a thought. I just feel the wave wash over me, and that's it. And then I go on my voyage. So that's a little meditation. Or when you take a shower, you could even do it. Just feel the water, a cleansing shower of beautiful energy, just peeling away anything that's, any remnants that are unhealthy or holding you back. And now we're going to take a moment while the neighbor pulls in. Okay. And she asked about the tips for beginners. You know, I would just say, try to make it easier on yourself. I did it the hard way. I 4 o'clock in the morning, got up to do yoga, had to sit in a lotus posture and, hold mudra and all this formality, which helps in the beginning. It can help to focus, put you in one point, like the candle, have a place where you do it, have a certain asana or cushion that you always sit on. You make it sacred, you make it special, so that energy kind of pulls you into meditation when you go into that place, that spot in your room, or that room, or that place where you go with other people to meditate, whatever it is. I try to keep a very light, loose garment that I only use when I meditate. That was in the beginning. I've also had teachers. I've also gone on retreats. I've also taken all kinds of intensive classes and Kundalini, awakening, all of those things. It's all on my time. It happens when you're ready. It doesn't happen because you want it or because you go to the right person. It's not from them. It's the spark. When you're ready, they spark it. So I got a little bit of this and a little bit of this and a little bit of this. And then I put it all together to make it mine. And once I realized that I had done that, then I started feeling progress, you might say. And I don't have anything against doing meditations now and then. I don't really like to do big group meditations because even if you set an intention, it's kind of hard to stay in that focus for everybody the same way. So I tend to just do my own. And if I am with a big group, I meditate on having a big protective bubble around us all so that no one tries to steal that beautiful energy. And then it just goes directly to the intention. So, okay, now I'm really getting into stuff. You wanted to know more about me. Yeah. Okay. So my tips for beginners are to realize that everything can be a meditation. So when you're in your peaceful place, if it's walking the dogs in the morning, or going to the mountain and taking a walk, or just sitting and looking out the window watching the birds, or any number of things, you can do the 5 senses meditation where you focus one at a time on each of your senses. You just give all your awareness to one thing at a time. That's meditation. You can meditate when you're cooking. I love to focus on each of the ingredients and just enjoy all of the scents and sights and all of that, all the sensations, all of it. It's where you put your attention. It's where you put your attention and your intention. So the other thing is, if you go full force, do not compare yourself to anybody else. Some people have amazing things happen very quickly. They see lights, they feel things, they start breathing differently, or or they have nothing but peaceful thoughts and visions, and I twitch and I itch and I fiddle and I fuss and I fidget and my foot falls asleep and my nose itches, and it's torture. That's how I spent very, very many hours meditating. But I'll tell you, the practice of it, the wanting it, and the giving it the best I could do often led to me kind of all of a sudden coming out of meditation, not even knowing that I had just given up. Or that night, oh man, I went through periods of incredible, deep, lucid, storyline dreams, problem solving, adventures, flying. Yeah, so it is worth trying. It's really fun to see where it takes you and what it does for you. Some people feel differently physically, others emotional, and some in their dream state. So just start with what feels comfortable and don't have expectation. Don't expect anything. Don't think of, what did they used to say? The worst thing they can tell you before you meditate is don't think about monkeys or something. Because the minute the guru tells you not to think about monkeys, all you can think about is monkeys. But that's like the trick to get you focused. So just do it whatever way you like. Okay, a lighter subject. This one is from Camilla. And I think one of the very most recent questions was also about my horses. Yeah, Gabriel. Thanks, Gabriel. Okay. Gabriel and Camilla wanted to know more about my horses, how long I've cared for them. And I think that... And Gabriel wanted to know if this was a job for me, or if they were, who owned the horses. And they're my girls. They're mine. They're my babies. They're my big outdoor dogs. I have had these two for quite a while, and I first got into horses when I was little. I don't know where it came from because no one in my family was that interested. My parents, in their courtship, used to belong to a group that went riding at a stable. They rented horses and they rode, but they didn't take lessons, and they weren't, fancy horse people. But other than that, I have no idea where I have pictures I'll show maybe on that Picture My Life video of me on horses when I was itsy bitsy, tiny, and then when I was a little bit older and I was very angry because the boy was holding the horse and I wanted to be in charge. So I've loved them always, but really got into riding when I was in Girl Scouts as a teenager. I joined Girl Scouts specifically because they had a horsemanship badge that you had to earn. So they gave you riding lessons. Well, we had to pay for them, but I kicked and screamed for my mom, please, I have to get this badge. So I got to do horse stuff. And that was it. I remember one of the most vivid memories of my entire life was with a horse. When I was in that stage, when I was 11, and I was just falling in love with horses. And I'll get back to that because there's a question later on about moments. So I'll tell you more about that. But yeah, it wasn't until I was in my 40s. Was I 40? I can't remember. Somewhere right around there when I got my first horse. And there's only been 4 horses under my care, and the first was the love of my life. Seriously, a very amazing story to be shared in a different way probably than just this, but yeah, it was a dream come true. It was confirmation that I create my own reality. I learned about okay, I'm serious. I learned about telepathy. There's a lot of stories there, but this horse and I had a very special relationship, and I had many, many adventures, both spiritual and otherwise, with that horse. And he went to a lot of grid work sessions with me out in the wilderness. It was really fun. We did a lot of crazy things, but that's when I really started. And that was in probably 1990s, I guess. Oh my gosh. I can't even remember. It's been a long while. Yeah. And then my ex wanted to get a horse because everything I did, he wanted to at least be able to say he could do it if he wanted to. So we found a horse for him, and that was Maria. And we had her for quite a while, and had some very interesting stories about the horses when I had a friend come who was very psychically aware and had some communication with both of my horses. And Maria told her that she was my horse. But we had a love-hate relationship. It was hard. It was really hard. So I didn't really consider her my horse, but then I had a beautiful mare who's out here now. She was added to the family. And then my friend thought, well, since you're not doing endurance anymore, you should get another horse so that you can keep on going to endurance rides. And I refused over and over. But in the end, I gave in, and that's how I got Z. So I had Bo and Z, Bo and Z. And Bo was a good old man. He lived a ripe old age, and he told me when it was his time. So I didn't want to leave Z by herself. So I got another horse. And she was a gift. She was a blessing. She still is. And that's Reina. So those are my two horses' names, Z and Reina. That was another question. I will find that down the road here. But anyway, that's how I got into horses. And I learned on the go. Bo was a magnificent teacher. He was 12 when I got him, so he was not a green horse, thank gosh, because he had good manners, and he was brave and loyal and sweet, and he would do anything I asked him to. And I had no idea that horses didn't do some of the things that we did, but we did. And we went everywhere, and we tried all kinds of crazy things, and he loved endurance. It's the only reason I started the sport, because he never was happy to go on a 2 or 3 hour walk and trot ride with the girls. He wanted to run, and he wanted to go up mountains, and he wanted to go far, and he wanted to keep going. So that was just perfect for us. And yeah, it continues to today. I have my 2 girls out there, and my mom, bless her little heart, continues to ask me, are you still into horses? You mean you're still into horses? Oh, you still have horses? Yes, Mom, they're my babies. Okay. Oh, Melissa. Melissa was another one that wanted to know when and why did I move from the East Coast? And honestly, if I could have some of the East Coast here, I would just love it. I loved so many things about living back there. But when I graduated from college, yeah, I came out here for a vacation and I never went home. I mean, I have gone home a few times, but I ended up moving here. And that's kind of why. Oh my goodness. So Ciel asks, what is my favorite music genres, groups, or artists? Whew. I don't know. That's a hard one to answer. When I was young, I grew up with 50s music, so, you know, the early rock and roll and Motown, blues, and all that kind of stuff is still deep in my heart. I have an older sister and 2 older brothers, and they listen to tons of music. And as a teenager, I always had my transistor radio with me. And, yeah, I like liked all that stuff. And then, man, you know, I grew up through the 60s and the 70s, and phew, I don't know, you know. I think that's some of the best music that's ever been made. Just stands the tests of time. Although I like lots of different styles, and you know, if somebody turns me on to something that's good, I'll definitely give it a listen, because there's a lot of things that spark memories or just open me to a new way of looking at things. So yeah, but that's basically what I really like, because back in the 70s I went to a lot of concerts. So, you know, it was all the fun bands, primarily Grateful Dead. I was totally into Grateful Dead. Still am. And so Grateful Dead, Pink Floyd, Aerosmith, Led Zeppelin, all that loud music. And then softer stuff too, because it was a lot of folk music then, and Woodstock, and yeah, independent people. Oh my gosh, a lot. But I would say they call it classic rock. They probably call it oldies now, what I liked. But yeah, 70s, 60s, 70s, some 50s. Really nice. Went through a classical period. Love classical music too. Yeah, can't knock that. I don't know. I have so many. It changes depending on my moods as well. So. And I am going to stop at this time. And I'll have to do a part 2 because all my batteries are dying. This one's been blinking at me, so I hope it's still recording. But we have gotten through 17 questions, and I'm looking forward to a few of these others. This gives me a little bit of time to think about one or two of them. So, with that, we have talked right through the sunset, and now we're in the twilight. Thank you for being here. Stay tuned for part 2. If I haven't answered your question yet, it's still coming. Talk to you later.